Speakers on. It's 1:30. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me over at the jail? Gentlemen? Yes?
Yes, we can, Judge.
Thank you very much. All right. It'll be a fairly brief docket, but nevertheless, we're going to take our time. Mr. Romero's in the jail, and we're going to go slow. Probable cause hearing. I've had a chance to read through the paperwork regarding your arrest, and today's not your trial. The purpose of today is to find out whether or not there was a valid reason for your arrest, probable cause. And then we'll talk about a bond amount. And once we're done with that, then we'll go to the next case. All right. I'm Judge Schiff. I'm usually at the North Courthouse in Deerfield Beach. I've been there a while. It's my 21st year as a judge. I'm usually at the Satellite, but I come down a couple of times a year to do first appearance and other things as asked. All right, so first case is Anna Bartha.
Ms. Bartha is here present at main. She is approaching, Judge. Come on up.
Thank you, Ms. Bartha. Hi, good afternoon. The court's reviewed the probable cause affidavit, finds probable cause. One count of leaving the scene of a crash without injuries. I'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, I'm not showing any history.
I'm showing no history either. All right, you live locally, ma'am? Yes? I can't hear you. Thanks.
Judge, she lives here locally in Fort Lauderdale. She's been residing in the same apartment now for about 2 years. Her monthly rent is approximately $1,000 per month. She's a cook by trade. Judge, she does need access to her phone in order to contact her friend to post her bond. She believes that her friend can post somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,000, so that's what we'd be
Is this
asking you to
charged
consider
as this is charged as a misdemeanor or
Charges
felony?
a felony.
This is charged as a felony? Okay.
What's not clear to me is whether they drove from the scene or walked from the scene, but
Well, I
it
think
says
that's
they
an
were
issue.
standing several blocks away.
Yeah.
Now, there could be a lot of reasons for that without going into the
Well,
facts of the case.
that's why that's why I asked that question. They said they were involved. They said they were standing. Doesn't say the car went, but in order to leave the scene of a crash, the car doesn't have to go.
No, but it's certainly something you can consider for purposes
No
of possibly
priors,
pretrial
yes.
release.
$500 bond.
Would the court consider pretrial release?
If she's eligible, I would certainly consider it. Is she eligible?
She'll be.
And she'll be able to do the $500.
She'll be able to do it? All right, then $500. I wish you well.
We just need the phone order, Judge.
Oh, okay, sure. A phone order,
you, Judge.
please. Oh, you're very welcome. Okay. McKenna McLegan.
North Broward, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We're going to talk about two things. First, I'm going to tell you that there is probable cause, and then the second thing we're going to talk about is how much of a bond. So I'm going to let you know that I find probable cause for battery on an officer, resisting an officer, or obstructing with violence, and then criminal mischief. I think it was $150 is the amount that was allegedly damaged. Now, I'll start with the state.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
I'll ask what you believe a reasonable bond should be.
The criminal history includes theft and contributing to the delinquency of a minor in 2014. 2014 DUI with an enhanced breath. 2012 theft. 2005 resisting without violence and disorderly conduct. On the battery on a law enforcement officer, I'm going to be asking for bond in the amount of $5,000. My greatest concern is the allegation that Ms. McLegan was attempting to grab the officer's holstered gun, and the resisting with violence, I'd be asking for a $1,000 bond.
Response, please.
Judge, Miss McLagan has been living here for all of her life. She has an extensive family here, including her 7 children who range in ages from 14 to 3. She's been living at the same location for the past 2 years with her husband and her children. From what she told me, I didn't catch all the years of the priors that the state read off, but she says it's been a while since she's been in any trouble. She receives Social Security for a disability. Her husband works in construction. Based on my conversation with her, she indicated that they might be able to come up with $300 or $400 to go to a bondsman and raise a bond somewhere in that area.
What
But I think any more
concerns-
than that is gonna be difficult for her to do.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. What concerns me is her move towards the officer's weapon.
I never did.
Don't
did-
say anything
okay,
about the
don't say
facts
anything.
of the
You
case right
don't
now,
don't
Mr.
say
Flanagan.
anything about it. Last felony arrest, state.
One moment, Judge. That would have been. It was a 2012. She ended up pleading down to a lesser petty theft. Jackie.
So that is somewhat remote in time, Judge.
179017 CF10A.
Bond is bond is $1,000 count one, $500 count two, $25 count three. Based
Hold on
upon
one
what you've told me, she should have enough funds to bond out.
And Your Honor, just ask for an order of no
No,
victim contact
no
with
victim
the.
contact with the officers.
Well, and
You gotta
also,
stay away from that house. I'm not saying you were over there, but you have to stay away from that, okay?
And it lists Angela Adam as, I guess, the homeowner where the criminal mischief allegedly occurred.
Okay, stay away from Miss Adams. Good luck
Thank
to
you,
you.
Judge.
Zamora Mendez.
Present here at Main Judge.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just email
Good
me.
afternoon, Miss Mendez.
Good afternoon.
All right, here we go. Court finds probable cause, possession of cocaine, $500.
Count one of the last.
Possession of drug paraphernalia, 100. Driving a license suspended as a felony, 750. Attaching a tag not assigned, ROR. Failure to register, ROR, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Judge, I got some information from Ms. Mendez I'd like to share with the court. And speaking with Ms. Mendez, she's 41 years old. She's been residing in South Florida for 30 years. At this time, she's going to school. She goes to ATC. She's studying construction. And what happened, she's set to complete in November. And at the end, they're going to help her with job placement. So she's looking forward to that. At this time, she's receiving disability, $735 a month. That's her sole source of income. She's a single mother. She has 4 children. She's living in Hollywood. Her monthly rent is about $790 per month. She's been residing in the same address for about 5 years at that apartment. Fortunately, right now, she's separated from her husband, so right now her husband is taking care of the children. She's the one that actually takes the kids to and from school.
Who has custody?
Correct?
Who has custody of these children?
I guess she's the primary residential parent, but I believe they still share.
We have
parental
shared
respons-
custody.
Is that a court order? Is that a court order, ma'am?
No.
Have you filed for divorce?
No, we're not actually married, but we're
Well-
separated.
Okay, well, Mr. Romero, you told me she's married. Now I'm finding out she's not married. I've already brought down the bond significantly as what we're done. I'm leaving the bond, plea trial release. That's up to, I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. If she's not going to be candid with her lawyer, please listen, and tell her lawyer what needs to be said, and then you tell me, and then I find out what she told you isn't true, that she's basically broken up any trust that I can have in her. I'm leaving it the way it is. Thank you very much.
I was married.
Judge,
I'm done, Mr. Romero. I'm done. I made my decision. She can bond
I
out.
know, but
Mr. Romero.
I just want to lay a record, Judge. I just want to lay a record.
For what?
Sometimes people use the term husband, married.
No. There's only a term of married means that you've been through. You had a ceremony performed that it's recognized by the state. Look, she gave you misinformation, and then you relayed me the information that was wrong. Before we even began, I reduced the cocaine amount without even you having to ask me. Before we even began, I reduced the bond amount of her 2 misdemeanors to ROR. So she's actually $800 less than what the card rate was supposed to be. I looked at it. I get it. And ma'am, if you're a mom and you did this, shame on you. You got kids. And if you got a drug issue, get help. We're done. Thank you. Rodolfo Gonzalez Urita.
Mr. Gonzalez is, you define the service as public defender.
All right.
He requires a Spanish interpreter.
Spanish interpreter is here, ready. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, señor.
All right, so Mr. Gonzalez, I reviewed the probable cause affidavit and I find probable cause. There's 2 counts of DUI. First,
Señor González, acabo de revisar la declaración de la causa probable y encuentro que sí hay causa probable. Usted tiene 2 DUIs.
the first one is $500 and the second one is $1,000.
500 en el primero y 1000 en el segundo.
And that's it, and I thank you very much, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
Eso es todo. Le agradezco mucho y que tenga un bonito día.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Ty Christopher Pierce.
No.
I'll find out.
He bonded.
He bonded. Mr. Romero, are there any other individuals who need the service of our Spanish interpreter?
I can ask.
Okay.
¿Alguien más necesita un intérprete en español?
Hold on.
No one else requires a service interpreter.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Facilities.
All right. I didn't hear them say anything. Okay, here we go.
North Broward's fine. We don't need one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Patrick Jackson. Mr. Jackson, good afternoon. He bonded? Okay. How about Patrick McFadden?
That'd be North Broward, Your Honor.
All right, well, good afternoon, North Broward. Here we go. This is Mr. McFadden. How you doing?
How you doing, Your Honor?
What happened to your hand? You all right?
You don't need to say anything
All right.
right now, Patrick,
All right,
about
do you need
that.
pictures?
Yeah, I've already submitted the order to
Okay,
you, Judge.
fine. All right. That's what I was going by, to see if you needed pictures. Okay. Very good. So you have you have an out-of-county hold for a misdemeanor, and then you have an out-of-county hold for a felony. The bond amount is $3,000. You're going to be staying for a while until they can figure out how to transport you, all right?
Okay.
All right, I wish
And
you
I'll, and I'll
well.
call your mom for you.
All right? I wish you well. Miguel Gonzalez.
That's medical reset, Your Honor, North Broward.
Your
All right.
Honor, I'm okay with the court finding no probable cause at this time and asking for 24 hours.
Okay, court finds no probable cause, count 1, no bond hold, count 2, state has 24 hours to perfect. Thank you. Alberto Nijaborg.
Mr. Nijberg is here present and he's approaching.
Thank you. Help me with your name again, it's Nyborg?
Nyborg, sir.
Nyborg. All right, I review the probable cause affidavit, I find probable cause, 1 count possession of heroin, bond is set at $1,000, and I wish you well, sir.
Judge?
Yes,
if I
Mr.
could,
Romero.
He's, unfortunately, he's homeless, he has no money in the bank, no property. However, he does have a mailing address. What I'd be asking you to consider is, considering this is a nonviolent offense, and he could still get notice through his mailing address, I'd ask you to consider either standard pretrial or an ROR.
Okay,
I believe his last offense date was 2014, so it's been over 2 years.
according to the arrest report, he's only lived here for 2 months. Where have you been between 2 months ago and the date of your last arrest?
Can you repeat the question again?
Sure,
sir?
according to the arrest report, you've only lived here for 2 months.
No, I've been in Florida all my life, sir.
Oh.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I moved out here since I was like 2 years old.
Okay,
Your Honor,
Linder?
his last offense was in 2014. He violated probation, was sentenced to 23 months Florida State Prison. He was just released in 2016.
I see. So you've been released since 2016.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you made it sound like he's lived here his whole life. You had a little vacation then.
I was here still in the state.
Okay. $1,000 bond, thank you.
Never mind.
Andrew Thomas.
His address is-
Andrew Toms, I'm sorry, Andrew Toms.
Okay, I was just curious.
Hi, Mr. Toms.
Mr. Thompson, he's approaching, Judge, and he declined to service as a public defender.
All right, well, Mr. Toms, then I'll speak directly to you. I found probable cause. There's 2 charges. The possession of cannabis is an ROR count, but the possession of Xanax, it's a $1,000 bond, and I wish you well, sir. Thank you for your time. Richard Cole,
Mr. Cole is approaching, Judge,
thank you.
and he declined to service as a public defender.
All right, Mr. Cole, then I'll speak directly to you, sir. Court finds probable cause on the first count, which is DUI, $500 bond. Count 2 is not for magistrate. Count 3 is a probation violation. That's a no bond hold. And I thank you for your time today, sir.
Is my R&R for
You got a no bond hold, sir. You got a no bond hold. All right, Bud Metzger. How you doing, Mr. Metzger?
Mr. Metzger is here approaching, Judge?
Thank you.
Sir, how about you?
Good. So we're going to do two things, Mr. Metzger. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that I find probable cause on your 3 charges. And then the second thing we're going to do is discuss the amount of bond that needs to be posted. So I find probable cause, disorderly conduct, resisting an officer with violence, and trespass. I'll start with the state.
Your Honor, state would just be requesting a $1,000 bond.
On the first count, or 5
Oh, no,
and
on the
5?
resisting with violence, I'm fine with the RORs on 1 and 3.
1 and 3. So let's talk, and you're looking at 1,000 on 2.
2, yes.
Response, please, sir.
Judge, according to Mr. Metzger, he was set to start work this week. He got a job with Florida Home Improvement Associates. He was going to be a salesperson making $10 an hour. He lives in Hollywood in a trailer with his girlfriend.
Okay.
At this time, his girlfriend is not working, so she's the only one that can post his bond. From what he tells me, he's not a convicted felon. He's a registered voter here in Broward County. But we'd be asking judges to consider pretrial release on Mr. Metzger's behalf, and would also ask you to sign a photo order allowing us to photograph Mr. Metzger's injuries.
Does he have any weapons? In reading this report, it gives me cause to believe that he may have a handgun at home.
He's advised me he has no weapons at his trailer.
Your Honor, I just received an email that his information has been verified. If the court is inclined to release him to us.
I'll release him to pretrial release under one condition, that you allow pretrial release to go into the home and search for weapons.
Your Honor, that would have to be done by the local police department.
All right, well, he says he has no weapons in there, and I'm just concerned if he's going to be released to ROR, that he doesn't have any weapons. Can't that be a condition of pretrial release, that his release is subject to a search? I'm asking. I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking.
As
This
an
is the first time I've ever been asked to look into that issue.
And the only reason I'm asking about it is dealing with the conversation.
Well, it's
And
not
maybe
even
I
whether
can't.
You could. My concern, as an officer of the court, my concern would be if Hollywood Police Department went in and found something
else. You're right.
incriminating.
Okay. All right. Mr. Metzger, look. No priors is what you're telling me.
He had a resisting without violence.
Okay. But no felonies, no
Not that
aggravated batteries, no weapon charges or anything like that.
Not that I saw.
Did you
Judge.
serve in the armed forces, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. And you're living with your girlfriend, is that what I understand? Any children?
Correct, sir.
Do you have any children? It's just the two of you?
No, sir.
How old are the
Yes, sir.
kids?
I have no children.
No
sir.
children. Okay, that's what I thought I heard.
And Your Honor can certainly order as a condition that he's not to be in possession of any firearms or weapons. And
Okay.
if he violates that, he's.
I'll approve you to pretrial release, no weapons, no drugs, and I wish you well.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck to you. Anthony Chiffant. That should be the last
Mr.
case. How are you, sir?
Okay, sir.
So we'll go through this slow. There's 3 charges, probable cause on each. Possession of heroin is 1,000. Possession of cocaine is 1,000. Drug paraphernalia, I'll make that an ROR. So the total amount is 2,000. All right. Anything else I can do for you on that one?
He's asking for you to consider pretrial release, Judge.
Is he eligible? Does he have priors? Tell me about his life.
Regarding Mr. Sherman Farm, we were advised that he has no verifiable address. We spoke to his aunt who told
Okay.
And he does have a criminal history.
And he has a
Judge,
criminal history? Well,
including
but-
felonies in prison time.
all right, we're going to keep the bond at $2,000. All right, if for some reason he's still in custody in a week or two and you need to bring him back to see a second look, I'm sure that you can get one. All right? All right, wish you well, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so we have finished the first portion of our docket, and now we're going to get to the second portion. And you have that list for me here? Is this it? Thank you. One of each. All right. I'll ask the state, which one would you like to start with, sir?
Whichever pleases the court. I'm fine with
Whatever pleases you, sir, whatever you want to
The
do.
misdemeanors are fine, Judge.
Fine, we'll start with the misdemeanors. Is that Vicky Holloway? Is that the first one? And where's Miss Holloway located?
She is at Norton Broward, Your Honor.
All right,
There she comes.
here she comes. How are you?
There you go, Miss Holloway. Stand on the X.
All right, so you've been in custody now since the 30th?
Yes, sir.
And you haven't been able to make bond, is that the
No,
issue?
sir. No, sir.
And this is the only thing keeping you?
Yes, sir.
Do you have family in the area?
Yes, sir. I've been living at my place for 4 years, a little over 4 years, sir.
Any objection if I ROR her?
No, Judge.
Any objection? I'm going to release you on your own
for me.
recognizance. All right? And and then what's going to happen is we'll release you on your own recognizance here, and then you got to promise to come back when your next court date is. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is, yes? You need something for me to sign? Oh, okay. Next is Reginald Lee.
Mr. Lee is here at Maine, Judge. He
Okay.
has a misdemeanor resisting without violence.
Right.
That he's asking me to ask your Honor if you would consider resolving it today for time served. He also has a DOC no bond hold that when this is done, he's going to be transported back to his facility.
State your position on the time served.
Your Honor, I would ask if the court could review the probable cause affidavit. I remember this case. I believe it's relevant considering what the allegations are and considering that his DOC hold is for escape. Does confinement status have a copy of the original report?
If his DOC is for escape and he pleads to these charges, I can't stop the gentleman from wanting to enter a plea today.
It's
Now, let's take a look. Defendant has an active state of Florida warrant for escape, no bond hold in reference to possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, carrying a concealed weapon, and tampering with evidence. Warrant was confirmed. Defendant knowingly and willfully resisted deputies on scene by jumping from a second-floor balcony once we announced ourselves at the front door of the apartment. He said, all right. Furthermore, he continued to resist by refusing to obey verbal commands. Defendant tensed his left arm and pulled away towards his body as deputy attempted to handcuff him. So he jumped off a balcony, didn't get himself hurt or something, and then they were there and they apprehended him.
and of course the court is free to accept an open plea. I just wanted the court to be aware of the allegations considering what the DOC hold is for.
You want me to penalize him on this charge because of what the DOC hold is?
I think it's relevant what the allegations are considering that he's got a DOC hold for escape and that he's jumping off second floor balconies to evade arrest from law enforcement.
Response?
Judge, I can only confer to you what Mr. Lee said. He wishes to advise him. I told him I don't know how this would affect him with his DOC hold or anything like that. So I made no sort of representations how it could affect him potentially with his DOC hold, but
Okay.
he just wants.
So listen to what Mr. Romero was saying to you. I'm going to let you plead this out if that's what you really want to do.
Right.
If you plead to this charge, it could be used against you in the other cases. Now, do you have attorneys in those cases, sir?
No, sir.
Well, no, here. Look.
I just want to plead to this and just get it over with so DOC can come and pick me up. Like to start over and doing my time. They put it as like it's an escape, but it wasn't an escape. I was at a program.
Don't discuss the facts of the case,
okay,
Mr.
yeah.
Lee. The judge just read the probable cause affidavit.
Mr. Lee, look, if you want to plead this case out, I'm going to let you do it, all right? And I'm going to give you time served. But I think things are very clear, though. Please listen. I think everything is very clear that as a result of your plea today on this case, it could perhaps serve as an aggravation to whatever is about to happen in your other charges. Is that understood?
Yes.
Now, do you want to do that?
Yes, I got to do it so DOC can come pick me up.
Okay, raise your right hand if you would, please. Then, sir, do you swear or do you affirm that the testimony that you'll give this afternoon is true?
True.
Okay. How do you charge the one count of resisting without violence? I read the charges to you, August 31st. You said,
No contest?
thank you. You can put your hand down. Is anybody forcing you to do this?
No, sir.
Are you on probation?
No, sir.
You understand that any pending charges you have, this can be an aggravating factor in the sentencing. You understand that?
Yes.
Now, you are represented by counsel, but it's very limited today. Do you understand that basically by entering the plea today, you're giving up any further rights that you have in this case except to file an appeal?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you wish to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, you also understand that as a result of the plea today, that if you're not a citizen of the United States as a result of your plea, it could lead to your deportation?
Yes, sir.
All right, I will ask this of Mr. Romero. Do you stipulate that there's a factual basis for the purpose of the plea this afternoon?
I can do that, Judge. I've read the probable cause affidavit.
Thank you.
I'll stipulate.
Thank you, Mr. Reedy. The court then finds that Mr. Lee is alert, he's intelligent, and he understands the nature of his charges. He understands the consequences of his plea, that his plea has been voluntarily entered, there's a factual basis to support a finding of guilt, and he's had competent counsel for the purpose of this hearing. Adjudicate guilty, credit time served. I wish you well. Zero fine, court costs paid within 90 days. And good luck to you, sir.
We're done here at home, Judge.
You're done there? It's just, okay, well, listen, have a wonderful afternoon, stay safe, get ready with your family for the storm if you have to. Thank you, Mr. Romero. All right, we have a couple more folks with misdemeanors, though, we're going to address. And here, I'll give this back to you. This is the probable cause on the last case. Thank you. Next is Jera San Martin.
San Martin, North Broward, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Stand on the X.
All right, you've been in custody a couple days on a resisting charge. Anything else holding the gentleman up?
There's nothing else holding him, Your Honor. I reviewed the original probable cause affidavit. Unfortunately, I'm unable to make an offer at this time. There are some allegations made in the report that I just don't know enough about to be able to make.
What's the allegations in the report?
Allegations that when the officer first approached Mr. San Martin, he stated he was going to get his gun and kill the subject who had hit him. When the officer was trying to pat him down.
When he made those statements, had he had anything to drink?
It does appear he's under the influence, but Your Honor, that doesn't mean that there wasn't an incident with another person and that this person doesn't exist. I just don't know enough about it.
Well, do you do a background check, see if he has any licenses to carry handguns? Does he have any prior gun charges?
He had an arrest that ended up being dropped in 2014 for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. An arrest last year for possession of marijuana and battery. The battery ended up being dropped.
So he's had a couple of things of violence.
Carrying a concealed weapon in 2006.
Okay. And how much was the bond for this?
It was reduced to $50.
And how come you haven't posted it yet, sir?
Sir, I have no money in my account, sir. I'm indigent.
How about family members? Any family members here?
No, sir.
Well, I'll be candid with you. I'm going to leave the bond at $50 based upon your priors. If you pled today, you'd be looking at a bunch more jail time.
I mean, is there a possibility we will resolve this issue today?
You can. What's the maximum sentence here? This is 365, right?
It's 364, yes.
Yeah. So you're looking at 9 more months.
I mean, is it? I mean, I was.
Mr. San Martin, I think
San Martin,
that you would be best advised to not try and resolve the case today.
Listen to your attorney. He's giving you some sound advice, but I'm just letting you know. You asked me. You invited me into the conversation. You basically asked me what was going to happen. And I'm telling you that if you pleaded this charge today, based upon what I'm learning from the state, you're looking at 9 months Broward County Jail. So that's what the offer, sir.
I was the one who actually.
Don't discuss the facts of your case,
All right, bond
Mr.
remains
San
at
Martin.
$50. Thank you very much. Vicky Holloway.
I think you are.
Oh, we did that. So who's
Jermaine Sands.
Oh, who's left?
Jermaine Sands.
Jermaine Sands. Thank you.
Mr. Sands, come on out, Mr. Sands.
And
that'll conclude. That'll conclude the misdemeanors. And then we'll get to the felony docket, and then we're good.
Be done at least.
Take your time.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'm going to ask to take no action on Mr. Sands' case. His case was transferred to Judge Lerner Wren's Mental Health Division, and I see he's already scheduled for a status conference before her this Thursday.
Response?
Does he have anything else holding him? I haven't pulled him up yet.
I don't believe so.
What's the bond?
Your Honor, the bond 25, and I can also, just to let the court know, I know Judge Loren has made a request for any cases transfer her to division to leave the bonds in place to ensure that they get before her and she can take action.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the bond alone, and you'll be seeing the judge in a couple of days, and I wish you well, sir. Thank you for your time. All right, let's go to the felonies.
That's it. We're gonna go see a different judge.
All right, so let's go the order they're on the docket here. Starting with number 1, Kelly Miller.
Conti, Your Honor.
It's going to be an ROR, Judge.
Okay. On all 3?
Yes.
All right. So where is Mr. Miller? All right, you're being released today on your own recognizance on all 3 charges. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. How about Roderick Lockhart?
Conti again, Your Honor.
State's position.
Your Honor, we've not filed information. Mr. Lockhart's entitled to a release on these charges.
Mr. Lockhart, you're being released. Have a wonderful day.
You too, Judge.
How about Paul Chin?
All right.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Chin. State your position.
Charges have not yet been filed, Your Honor. He's entitled to an ROR on this charge. I would just ask, a no contact order had previously been issued regarding the alleged incident location. I would just ask the court to keep that in place.
Any objection to that?
I think it's probably in everyone's best interest if he abides by it.
All right, so you understand you're going to get released today, Mr. Chin, but don't go anywhere near the property where you're accused of having done wrong, okay? Can you do that?
Sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Russell Ahmad.
Conti again, Your Honor. 1 second.
Thank you.
This is going to be an ROR.
Okay. All right, good news for you. You're getting released today, ROR. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next up is Patrick Jasniak.
Got it. Jazniak. That's North Broward.
Thank you. Hi, state your position.
Your Honor, this is all, we've not filed information. This is also an ROR. I would just ask if the court could advise Mr. Jasniak that the original order that he not return to the alleged, the incident location allegedly
Okay.
is still in place.
All right, and defense agrees, disagrees?
I agree.
All right, so you understand what's going to happen today, sir? You're going to get released, and I'm just going to remind you that it's an order, not a suggestion. It's an order. Don't go back to where it was that you got arrested. All right?
Yes.
Good luck to you. Ronald Shepard.
This is going to be an ROR as well.
Conti, Your Honor.
Conti? All right, Mr. Shepard, you're going to be released on your own recognizance today, and I wish you well. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Dijon Frazier, please.
Conti again, Your Honor.
This will be an ROR.
Okay. All right, so you're going to be released today on your own recognizance, and I wish you well. Good luck to you, sir. Almost there. And last but not least,
Oh, yeah, not yet.
Kendall Tuff. Oh, we have another page, you're right. Kendall Tuff.
North Broward, Your Honor. Come on in, Mr. Tuff.
Information has been filed, Judge.
And information has been filed, okay?
Where is he?
Damn.
Oh, he's at North.
He's at North Broward.
Got it, I got to push the button. There we go. Information's been filed. Response?
What charges exactly have been filed?
The grand theft and resisting without. There were no bonds on, there was no bond on the criminal mischief anyways.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Wait, you said something too. I'll take you back. What's going on?
Audrey George.
I don't know what you were charged with. Everything has been filed. If you don't understand, ask the judge, because I don't even know what your charges are.
Mr. Tuff, a grand theft charge has been filed. A resisting an officer without violence has been charged. The state did not charge you with criminal mischief.
So what I got to wait on a court date?
Yeah, you do, unless you can bond out.
We'll schedule an arraignment shortly.
Yeah, you'll have an arraignment soon.
So they can't resolve the case for me?
No, sir,
Not today, no, sir.
Audrey George.
North Broward again. 1 2. I'll take you back.
This says second-degree petty theft, so,
It's
treated as a felony, I see.
Yeah, and it's been filed as charged, Judge.
All right, it was filed. All right, I wish you well, sir. Thank you. Kevin Smith.
Conti, Your Honor.
Appreciate the last one.
Has that been filed?
Your Honor, an information has not been filed. The state is going to be requesting an extension to 40 days.
Another 40 days?
No, not another. It's
Oh, you're at 30 now,
we're at,
31?
I think today's the 34th day. I don't know exactly, but we're asking for an extension, good cause extension to 40 days.
Response.
Judge, we run into this problem, it seems only with trafficking cases, though. We don't run into this problem with possession of narcotics cases. And the situation, quite frankly, is that the Broward Sheriff's Office lab is incompetent. And they are not able to file charges within 30 days or 33 days on numerous narcotics-related charges. The state comes in only when it's a trafficking, and they ask for additional time, but the state has done absolutely nothing. They haven't filed a subpoena. I don't even
Okay,
know
well,
if Mike Sachs and the sheriff have
let me ask the question a
spoken.
different way. Because that's a dispute that obviously you have with the sheriff's office, and I'm not going to be able to cure that dispute today. Is he legally entitled to the extra time?
He has to show good cause, and I don't think, knowing that you have a lab that in 2014 was sanctioned for being incompetent, and then here we are 3 years later, where the same issues are still going on, nothing has changed, nothing's been
I
fixed,
just
no
want to
efforts have
address
been
this
made.
case. I want to address this case.
It's a pattern,
Let
though,
me ask
Judge, and
State.
somebody has to put a stop to
State.
it sooner or later.
State,
Yes, Judge.
talk to me. What's missing?
Your Honor,
What
I'll
haven't
make-
you done?
It's, Your Honor, and that's it's the same situation as in Davis, the case law I provided, Your Honor. We have not received lab results yet from the drug lab.
So what's taking it so long?
It's, Your Honor, it's the same backup from 2014.
How hard, let
it-
me ask the question
Yes,
this way.
Judge.
How hard is it to take now that he's on the doorstep of being released, how hard is it to have someone test it and have him back in front of me on Thursday?
Your Honor,
I'll see him back on Thursday.
okay.
See you back on Thursday, sir.
Thursday, you got 48 hours, State, or give me a really good reason why you need more time.
Yes, Your Honor.
And maybe you want to bring in sworn statements from people in here so that we can ask them questions. All right, next up is Tarvin Dean.
No, I said that.
Where was that?
You called me?
Yes, where are we going?
North Broward.
North Broward, okay. And so, Mr. Dean, talk to me,
Good
State.
afternoon, sir.
Good
It
afternoon.
has been filed as charged.
All right, it's been filed, so you have 2 counts filed, battery on a person over 65 and felony battery. All right. Anything else from the state?
No, nothing. Judge.
Anything from the defense?
There you are.
Anything from our clerks? Well, yes, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and sign these on the record. So here's where we are. Be safe, everybody. Get your homes prepared if you can. And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning. I'll be here starting at 7. Thank you.
Sounds good, Judge. We'll see you then.
All right.